Hey, good morning, everyone. Let's do a sound check. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's Manera, and we are live. We're live today, Wednesday, June 15th. Can you believe it? We're halfway through the year. Close enough, anyway. Hey, Alice. Alice is here with us this morning. Thank you for joining me today, Alice. Chris is here. Good morning to Chris. Jean Duvall is saying, love the theme of this book. Thank you so much, Jean. I appreciate that. How's my sound? How's my audio? We don't know, do we? Do we know? Chris, how's my audio, Chris? Hear you. Alice says, I hear you, Ian. Awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So we're back again. We're going to give it I'm a little bit early this morning, but we're going to give it a few minutes until everyone else gets here. But we're continuing on this morning with the Be Brave page. And all night long, well, not all night, but throughout the night when I kept waking up, that happened to anybody else, when I kept waking up, I kept thinking to myself, what really, truly is the definition? You can hear me? Okay, cool. Awesome, Jean. Awesome, Chris. What truly is the definition of being brave? Today's page is all about be brave. And these color-alongs for this book are more than just color-alongs, or at least that's my take on it. I don't know. What do you all think about this? I'd love to hear your feedback about it. The feedback that I've gotten on this book so far has been that it's more than a coloring book. And I really never, I mean, I advertised it like that, but what makes me really, or truly touches my heart is that that's the message that everyone is picking up from this book. So, and this coloring book is available on Amazon, and it's all the book is also available as a full color book. And both books are available in paperback or hard copy. Excuse my dogs today because they're being a little nuts. We don't know. We think it's the full moon. And so we've got this full color version, and they're both available in paperback and hardback book. I'm actually getting my hardcover book this weekend. I think Friday is when it's scheduled. Hey, good morning, Mamie. Good morning, good morning. So we're just chatting about, I want to hear, I mean, this book is more than just a coloring book. And it's something I think I've talked to a few of you about this. I know I've had this conversation with Alice about me wanting to do a book that was more than a coloring book. Maybe it was a story book, or maybe it had a story to it that I wrote. And then this kind of came up. You never know what's going to happen. Hey, I've got to get Scarlett a biscuit. Hang on one second, my friends. Scarlett, let's go get you another biscuit for the millionth time. This is going to be the last one, though, you guys. Honestly. How about if you have this instead? Oh, look at this. Anybody interested in that? No? Oh, how about one of these? Come here. Come here, guys. Come here. That's it. These are the last ones, girls. Last ones. Whew. Okay, I gotta put a couple of biscuits to the side here, so I don't have to get up anymore. My exercise is done for the day. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. So the way this book is laid out is that this is the color version that I'm showing you right now. But each page is has just a word. Be happy, for example. Be funny. Be grateful. And then on the facing page, I have a quote, and then it's something that I've written about that. Just a little a short paragraph that I've written about, just about being grateful, or being funny, or being artsy. I'm not really crazy about that word artsy, but I thought it was kind of fun to include it. And then I also have some journal pages for it, including inside the book. And they're included in the color version too, because you might want to make some notes. You might want to write down some of your thoughts about each one. I really have to tell my dogs this is the last biscuit, so excuse me for a minute. Listen, girls, this is the last one, okay? No more after that. Lay down. I have to be on my best behavior because no, I'm not. I'm only kidding. Okay. So it's got these journal pages. It's got all of these different words. And a couple of people said, why are there only girls in here? Why is there's only female, only women in here? Because that's where the power belongs, right? Hey, Sherry, good morning. Sherry, I gotta say, Sherry has really, Sherry's words, if you've seen what Sherry has written about her feedback about the book, she posted something yesterday, excuse me, on her Facebook page. Sherry, you completely captured my intent with this book. So, thank you so much for doing that. So we're going to color today. There's 50 pages in this book. Today's page is a free page. We've got, we're working on Be Brave today. We're finishing it up. We started a couple of weeks ago. And, excuse me, oh, I have the hiccups. We started out with Being Brave. And here's the page that we worked on last time on the first day. I also included we've been swatching, which I don't usually do, but I've been swatching for this book. This is what we did so far for our Be Brave page. And I used Spirafarben colored pencils for this one. And then today we are going to work on this page for Be Brave. And we'll take a look at this. We're going to talk about what that means. About being brave, and I kept thinking all night, what does that mean to be brave? I've got my swatches here. I'm going to put those underneath. Oh, I was working on this page the other day. Be proud. So let's first of all swatch. I'm going to swatch my colors. Well, I've got some colors today. I'm not sure if I'm really going to use all of them, to be honest with you, because I'm not really sure if I want to include that many colors. But I'm using Prismacolor watercolor pencils today because I thought I'd shake things up a little bit. And the way I use watercolor pencils is that I color first on the page, and then I take some water with the paintbrush, just clean water, and then I add water to it and kind of spread the pigment and spread the color around. So that's what I'm going to do today. So I'm going to swatch these pages. I'm going to swatch these colors. We're going to get started. The goal of these color alongs every week is that we're going to color through the entire book of Just Be Coloring Book. And by the end, we're going to have some frame-worthy pages, and I think that's important. I'm going to take my time more than I usually do. We're not going to rush throughout of these. I mean, I'm probably still going to be coloring faster than everybody else. I know. I can't help it, you know? So this is Be Brave. This is, you can get this swatch page on my website on Manera.com. This is a free page that I have for everyone. And then I'm going to swatch my colors. So what I have out today is this Peacock Blue color. And these are Prismacolor watercolor. So let's swatch. You can use any brand. You can use anything you would like. This is Peacock Blue. Have that fan running behind me. I hope it's not a distraction. You want to know what bothers me about swatching is having to keep switching what's in my hand. This is Lilac. Does anybody else have that problem? This is Carmine Red. We're not going to complain today, though, right? The other day I was in the car. I don't know where I was going, where I was headed. Oh my goodness. Was I headed to heaven? I hope not. Not that day anyway. I think we were going to the eye doctor. My mom was with me. And anyway, we were complaining. We were both complaining. So finally I said, you know what? This is it. Which brand is Ann using? I am using, hey Sandra, I'm using Prismacolor watercolor pencils today. Thought I would shake things up. I did announce this, so and I try to tag people, you know, I try to tag people when I make the announcement. I try to get people to, I mean, if I forget your name, my apologies. I have Crimson Red and Carmine Red. I'm not really sure why. I just figured that maybe that I needed both of them. And this one is called Sunburst Yellow. So we're going to talk today. Put this over to the side. I am going to put it on top of this clipboard today while I'm coloring. give everyone a minute here while Paisley stops scrolling. We're going to talk today about being brave. And the quote from Nelson Mandela that I chose for this page, yes, Prismacolor watercolor pencils. You know, these were sent to me, a friend sent me these. She wasn't using them. And she found them in a closet. They were brand new. And I love them. Hey, Rosie. I love them. I just don't know if they're available anymore. I don't know. I think there was somebody that was watching live one day that did say that they had them, which I was surprised because they're hard to find. Let me get Paisley whatever she's looking for. She must have dropped her pencil. What is it, Paisley? My dogs, I don't know. I just don't know, those little creatures. Okay, so the quote that I chose for this page is by Nelson Mandela. And basically he is saying, I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. Now, what do you think? Tell me what you think about this whole, what's your definition of to be brave? What is your definition of being brave? And I'm going to start coloring some of these flowers as we're chatting and as I'm reading through this. I have a small set of Prismacolor watercolor pencils. It doesn't have that same cover though, does it? Oh, that was Alice. Whew! I knew it was somebody. I found them, but I can't remember where. Oh my goodness. All right, I'm gonna get started coloring, and we're gonna chat about this, and we're gonna talk about what it means to be brave. And I'm gonna tell you right out, I don't think that being brave, I'm gonna get rid of that color along little doodad too. I don't think that being brave, I'm going to say it from the outset, means that you get on like a zip line or something in the middle of the jungle and you zip across. I don't think being brave means that you jump out of an airplane. I don't think being brave means that you walk on a bed of nails. I don't think so. What does everybody think about this? I mean, I don't think that that's what the whole bravery thing is. So I'm just going to color all of these with a little bit of pigment, and then I'm going to add water to them, okay? So I've got this one right here that I'm using yellow. I'm going to use this one too for yellow. Starting heavy pigment here and kind of moving out. So let's read through. I'll read through what I've written here. We are often faced with normal everyday situations that terrify us. And I mean, this is written by me with the experience of the normal everyday situations that terrify me. There are things that terrify me that are just like normal, okay? A test of one's inner strength is put to work, and most of the time we surprise ourselves at just how brave we are. The ability to conquer what frightens you is your superpower. And ironically, it's not the situation that is scary, it is the fear of the unknown. So really, it is the fear of the unknown. Each of us fear different situations, and I think that's really, really important, that we all fear something different. What may be something that's, no big deal to you, maybe is like, oh my God, I can't do that to me, or vice versa. And that doesn't make you a wimp. So it doesn't make you a wimp if you are afraid of something, or you fear something and you're not as brave as your friend or someone. It just makes you your own person. So the next time you're faced with a situation that requires you to be braver than you think you are capable of being, remember that everyone feels fear, and everyone has the ability to overcome that fear, including you. So what do you think? I think that, I'll start out with what I think. I think that, I'll be first. I think that bravery happens every single day. And maybe the bravest thing you can do, or the bravest thing that you will do, is to get out of bed tomorrow. Maybe the bravest thing you'll do is to face the day. Maybe the bravest thing you'll do is to live today. You know, some people need that person to egg them on. You know, you're on a baseball team, for example. You know, when we're playing baseball. You're on a team, you've got a coach, you've got the coach yelling in the air, you can do it, do it, do it, do it, right? I'm not that person. Don't yell at me to do something like that. I don't know. I mean, anybody else feel like this? I am not that person that is going to be encouraged by someone forcing me to do it. Well, not really forcing me, but that is trying to get me to do something. I need to refresh my page. Trying to get me to do something by forcing me to do it. Oh, I hate when that happens. Okay. Trying to get me to do something by, like, you know, the coach attitude, like screaming at someone or push through the pain, that type of thing. That doesn't motivate me. Right, that's my yellow color. Now I'm going to move on to my purple. This is the purple color. It's violet. So, I think that we are probably, well, I know that we are all braver than we think that we are. And I know that each time we're faced with something, it's because we can handle it. And I know also that sometimes I want to say enough. I have been faced with too much, and I do not want to, I don't need to test my strength, test my bravery anymore. You've given me enough, you know? I'm sure we all feel like that at some point. I also know that we can make our fears bigger than they really are. I was actually just talking about this with someone yesterday. That book, The Life of Pi, where if anyone's seen that book, read that book, or seen that movie, where the main character, Pi Patel, is in a boat, and there's a lion in the boat, and a tiger in the boat, and it represents his fear. And the lion appears, the more afraid he is, or the lion appears, the more he fears something or thinks that he cannot do something. So, what takes away that fear? And I don't really know if I have an answer for what takes away the fear for me. I guess every situation makes you a little, tests your bravery more and more every single day. You know, on different levels. Am I brave enough to walk into the supermarket? Am I brave enough to host this color along? Let me tell you, every time I get a little bit of a, you know, a flutter in my stomach every time I hit that, right before I hit that live button. Part of it is being excited, part of it is not. Alice is giving some feedback, is chiming in here. Alice is saying, I feel I was brave the first time after my car accident that I got back in a car and drove to the store. I had to learn how to use my fused ankle with the gas pedal. That's extremely brave. Extremely brave. Extremely. I've had some issues myself with driving because of having very, very low blood sugar while I was behind the wheel. So, there's that fear there sometimes. Is it going to happen again? You know, that's very brave. Sherry's saying, I feel that being brave is going through bad situations and coming out stronger than you ever thought you were. Oh, so true, right? I feel that I was brave by leaving a physically and emotionally abusive relationship. Oh, I'm sorry that happened to you. And taking my infant sons and raising them by myself. That was where bravery came in. And bravery, that's amazing, Sherry. Amazing. Thank you for sharing that. And what's amazing, too, is that you're faced with brave because you have to be. Hey, Bev Larson, you're faced with bravery because you don't have a choice. You have to do it, right? You have to do it. There's nothing else you can do. There's, let's add some pink. There's all of these other things happening. There is something bigger than you that is making you step up. You know, that term, step up to the plate. You have to do it. You can do it. So I don't really think that it's about, like I said at the beginning, I don't think it's about getting on a zip line and zipping across the jungle, right? What do you think, Sherry? What do you think, Alice? I don't think it's about, you know, jumping out of an airplane. Sure, it takes bravery to do that. But the true test of bravery is, what do you do when you're faced, like a story that Sherry and Alice just shared. What do you do when it's just something normal, right? Something normal in everyday life that's part of our survival, you know? I'm sure that the pandemic has definitely tested a lot of people's bravery to get through it, to change how we were living and what we were doing on it every single day, right? Yeah, right, Sherry? I agree, too. Chris is saying, I had to be brave to start college for nursing after my divorce. It was always something I wanted to do, but I didn't think I was smart enough to actually do it. Hey, Tammy. Yep, right? Right, Alice?
I don't have a phone number for this contact.
Siri.
Who would you like to call?
Siri thinks I'm talking to her. Goodbye, Siri.
Yes.
Siri, goodbye.
Bye.
Siri thinks I'm talking to her. That's so funny. All right, let me see. Now, she was brave to get in on the conversation. Wait a minute. Let's go back to Chris's comment. I had to be brave to start college for nursing after my divorce. It was always something I wanted to do, but I didn't think I was smart enough to actually do it. I didn't have a choice, and the thought of that made me brave enough to do it and get through it. Good for you, Chris. Chris, do you mind me asking how old you were when you did that? Because there, I bet, I mean, I know you're not going to tell me that. It was Siri, right? Crack me up. She was very brave to butt into our conversation. I know you weren't 18, right? Don't tell me you were. I'm sure you weren't 18. Yeah, and knowing that you're not, I don't know, doing something that you don't think you're good enough to do, right? Like Chris just talked about that. I don't think that I was good enough to do it. I didn't think I was smart enough. And then, boy, did you prove you were 36, right? So you weren't a spring chicken. You weren't 18, right, Chris? Paisley says you said it. I don't know what she wants back there. This is my biggest frustration with live videos. And you know what? I've been watching this I joined this this group, this transformational group, and I've been watching videos the past week with this group. Anyway, the woman who's hosting it has 3 dogs, and you know what? No one makes a peep. So last night I'm thinking to myself, boy, how does she get these dogs to just like really like not say anything and just be so good? And she told us last night that they have a dog nanny. They're not even there. All right, I've got to go get Paisley something, so she is zipping her little lip. So hang on a sec. Surrounded by lots of young people much younger than me. That happened to me when I went to college when I went to graduate school for my master's degree. There I was like, oh God, how old was I? In my 40s, 45 maybe. And here I am amongst all these, like, you know, 20-somethings. Let me get something for Paisley. Paisley, what's the problem here? What's the matter? Do you have to go outside? All right, come on, let's go. Okay, I think they're okay out there. Yeah, surrounded by people that are way younger than you, right? And that's like, oh my God, here I am in this room. But you know what? That's because they all act like they're a bunch of know-it-alls. And they're fearless. So, you know, the older you get, the more you become, I don't want to say timid, but I don't know. Well, I guess you kind of know a thing or two about a thing or two, right? So you have definitely decided that that is not a good idea. It's not that I'm afraid to do it, but yeah, maybe that's not a good idea. I can't think of an actual example in my head off the top of my head right now, but I'm sure there's many things that we could all really like put our thinking caps on about, that maybe that is not a smart idea, you know. So I'm not going to do that. Maybe dancing and doing the twist tonight is maybe not a good idea. So I don't know. Maybe I should not have done that type thing. So, I mean, bravery comes in all forms. And I think that we definitely are all much braver than we think. Right? I think you become more aware of not being immortal, Chris is saying. Right. Like, should I have danced up a storm the other night and then felt like I couldn't move? Maybe I overdid it. I'm not really sure. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. I've been trying to dance almost every night so that I could, it's my weight loss routine. So it doesn't always happen. It doesn't last very long. I definitely would not survive like a Zumba class with someone like trying to get me to move along. So I'm going to use Peacock Blue next. So as you can see, I am just adding pigment to like the center of these flowers, the center of the petal part. And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to add water and pull the pigment out to the end of the petal. Now, the reason why I have not done that yet, I just need to pivot a little bit, is because when you're using watercolor pencils, obviously the water, you're going to use water. So obviously you're going to have to be really mindful of where you place your hand. So I want to make sure that I am not placing my hand on top of something that's too wet. And I just want to make sure that I have enough room on the whole thing. What I am going to do is on this one, I'm actually going to kind of go from dark to light and really shade it. What you don't want to happen with this watercolor pencil situation is you don't want to see that that line. You want a smooth transition. So I know those youngins think that they're immortal, aren't they? Don't they, Chris? It's crazy. But, you know, sometimes I still kind of think that. Like when I stick my hand inside my dog's mouth to get something out of their mouth. Maybe that is like, maybe not a good idea. Or, you know, maybe I shouldn't have eaten that spicy food. That spicy salsa that night. I don't know, different things like that. So it's already taking shape. And I'm, again, just kind of adding this Peacock Blue color. Now, I bet if I added white on top of this Peacock Blue color, then it would really soften it. So this is a huge book to continue, right? Because we've got 50 pages. So my thoughts, I'm just going to flip this around, is that I'm going to color a page every week. And next week, we'll move on to the next page of the book, which is Be Funny. So we'll color the page one week, and then the page with the text, like this one is, the next week. And then the replays will always be available here on my Facebook page. But I'm also uploading them to YouTube. So my YouTube channel actually just hit 10,000 views. I can't even believe it. Honestly. It's like, what? I only have like 288 subscribers. If you're not a subscriber to my YouTube channel, if you want to subscribe, I would appreciate it. My YouTube channel makes me $0. Some people make a lot of money on YouTube. You know, they upload their videos. I mean, I'm a huge YouTube watcher. I watch a lot on YouTube. All right, I'm going to go get the dogs so they can finish up with us. I'll be right back. Okay. All right, so I've got all my areas all set here on this part of it. Now the other part is that I want to color the middle of it. I want to color the inside of it, right? So let's take a look at what the color is in the middle of this. It's blue. And I didn't go by the, I'm sorry, this is the wrong page. I did not go by the, I didn't use these same colors though. But I guess I kind of did, right? Yeah, in a way I did. I used light pink, I used purple, yellow, a darker red, but I didn't use blue in this. So for the center part of it, I'm thinking that because I already added something that has blue, I want to add green in the middle. Big storm going to hit any minute now. Oh no, really, Bev? Boy, there's a lot of crazy storms going on out there. Aren't there? I'm going to use a green color in the middle, and I think I'm actually going to use this green, which is called grass green. So let's swatch this color. What kind of storm? Like rain, Bev? If you tell me snow, I'm going to jump off the building here. All right. So for this one, I've got that point on there, but I'm going to go on the side like we did for the other one. And I'm just going to kind of go in the centers of all of this, like where the flowers meet. I don't have any vines on this page, so. Now what you could do too is, because it has words, is you can color on top of the text. Hold on a second, let me get my, gonna have a little bit of a mistake there. The sky is getting blacker as we go. Oh no. Well, who knows? Could be thunder, could be anything, no warnings. Oh my goodness. Just have to get rid of this little. I wish that the electric pencil sharpener actually didn't have a button where you had to keep holding it. I wish I could just, you could just like, you know, press down, turn it on, you know? Leave it on rather than having to keep holding it. All right, so I'm just gonna, now I'm not going to do anything to the behind the words. I'm gonna just leave them. And because I have this on top of another piece of paper, and I have it just kind of underneath that, well, I'm on the side of it. So I'm the side of the pencil, right? So that makes a big difference. And I didn't want to do this at the end because then I would have to place my hand, you know, everywhere it needed to not be. Hey, so you know what was on my radar this morning in my head? My thoughts. Hey, Abby, haven't seen you. Alice is saying, no jumping off the building wouldn't be brave at all. It would be crazy. Can you imagine? Has anyone ever done anything like that, by the way? Anyone ever, like, gone bungee jumping or zip lining through the jungle or jumped out of an airplane? Like, what's the craziest thing you've ever done thinking that you would, like, brave like that? I don't know if I've ever, I would never do any of that. I wouldn't even want to get a tattoo. I'm not even that brave. I mean, I don't even think that that is brave. I mean, it's brave to do all those things, but that's not the true test, the true definition of bravery. You know, bravery is when you're faced with something in the everyday life and live to tell about it, right? Bravery is when you're faced with something in the everyday life that you have to do every day for your, I don't know, just for life, to survive in this world, to put food on the table, right? To take care of kids, to take care of yourself. Bravery is not falling apart when maybe you felt like you should. You know? Bravery is maybe standing in that shower and crying your eyes out, right? When no one can hear you. Taking those few minutes and then wiping the tears away and facing the day and looking at your family or your friends and moving on. Bravery is being faced with an unexpected illness. How about that? A chronic illness that you now have to deal with the rest of your life. Your life changed. I'm going to add a different green on top of this also. We had bad storms roll through last night, Mamie saying some areas had wind gusts over 70 miles an hour. Oh my goodness. We had a storm with rain, thunder, and lightning. Luckily, we were spared from the high wind gusts. The other night, it was like that here. We had a big storm that blew through, apparently. I slept through the whole thing, but apparently I did see the news report, and it said there was 800 lightning strikes throughout the whole thing. Tammy's saying about my little granddaughter going through cancer. I read those posts, Tammy, and I have the chills right now even talking about it. That is a very brave little girl, and your daughter is even braver. And I have a family member that is going through cancer right now, and I don't like to talk about it on social media, but my sister is going through cancer, and she's at the end of her treatment, and she's the bravest person I know. And it's just amazing what's happening, and what happens, and the tests that we're put through. But your granddaughter, I mean, what a brave little girl. And she's brave because she just doesn't know that she's not supposed to be, right? What do you think? Do you think that, Tammy? She's brave because she just thinks that I just have to be brave. Like, it's not a question. I think that sometimes when you're faced with something that is calling you to be your bravest, that you are actually not. She's maybe coming home on Friday. Oh, that is awesome. Unbelievable. Do you think that when you're faced with something that you have to be braver than you ever imagined you would have to be, that there's no question that someone may say to you in the midst of it, wow, you're really brave. And you may say, oh my God, I didn't even think of it that way, right? That's how I think of it sometimes. That because you have to be, you're not questioning it. Versus jumping off a building, right? Or doing that zip line that maybe you're pumping yourself up that I have to be brave, I have to be brave, I have to be brave. No, you don't, because you don't have to jump. You don't have to do the zip line. But when you have to fight for your life, you have to be brave. And there's no question. So, I hope that you keep... I always look at the posts about Eden, and it just amazes me. Amazes me. The power of prayer, right? Tam, yes, she does. She has a long road ahead. She certainly does. I hope that when she goes home, it will actually make it feel like it's a little more a normal situation for her, right? Sherry's saying, I jumped off the roof when I was a kid. I'm afraid of heights in adulthood. Well, how high was the roof, and why did you jump off there? Right? Anybody else do anything crazy like that? I don't know. I don't think I've ever done anything crazy like that. Yes, I will continue to pray for her, Tammy, because unbelievable. And let me tell you, the name. Was she named Eden? I mean, she was named Eden because she... when I see her name, I just think to myself, this child has been named Eden for a reason. Don't you think? Okay. I've got just some thin brushes here. Thin, tiny. And now I am just going to dip them in just some clear water. And I am going to just pull the pigment like you're painting. Reminds me of those paint with water books. You know which ones I'm talking about. I'm using cardstock on this. So if you really, and it's got a pretty good tooth to it, so it does kind of absorb the water a little bit. But if you really wanted to do some magic with this, then, I mean, if you printed on some watercolor paper, oh my. Well, I gotta say, she has to be in a wheelchair. Yeah, that's probably what, like the, but at least. At least, I was looking at some of the things that she was going through, and that was just amazing. All right, so this is just that, this is carmine red, and look how pink it looks. Doesn't it look pink? So now I'm going to move on to the blue. The other thing that does happen is when you print something, which I find that happens anyway, is that you have to kind of make sure that you that the ink that you let the page dry before you add water to it. And you don't need a lot of water. I mean, you don't want to make it like a puddle. Here's the next blue. I'll go with this one since I do have a little bit more water left on my brush. So nobody's done any crazy like zip lining, jump out of an airplane. I don't know. Boy, we're too normal. Are we normal or are we just not? I don't know. Are we just maybe we're just that brave that, you know, we're not going to let it bother. We're not going to do all those crazy things. What do you think, Abby? What do you think? Have you ever done any of those crazy things? What do you think the definition of being brave is? Sherry's saying, I wasn't supposed to be on the roof. My mother heard my brother and myself running up there. She came out yelling at us, and we ran to the other side and jumped off. Oh, my goodness. There's a house in my neighborhood, actually, where the roof of the garage, the house is on a hill, like the yard of the house is on a hill. And then next to it is a garage. And the roof of the garage is equal height to the hill of the yard. It's weird. Anyway, the reason I'm telling you this, I'm crazy, but I'm not that crazy, says Abby. Awesome. She has to go into remission so she can have bone marrow transplant. Oh my goodness, she has to wait for remission for that. Oh my goodness. So this house has this garage next to it, and the roof of the garage is the same height as the ground, the yard that's on a hill. And it's a house that people rent. They rent apartments there. Like it's not so I've seen a lot of people come and go. But every single family that has ever moved in, the kids have always climbed up on the roof. And it's just interesting to me. It's like this other house that that is always, every time new people move into this apartment, these kids always use the front railing as a monkey bar. I mean, this has been like maybe like at least 5 or 6 different families. Brave is keeping a warm heart and a face every day to your best. That is a good one. Right? Even in the face of all of the things. How about this? Brave is forgiving the person that hurt you most. Or forgiving something. Pelting out blackest part blew over but thunder. Oh my goodness. Sherry says she shimmied up the telephone pole to get to the roof. Or the television antenna. Telephone pole. Picture Sherry. All right. So there's Sherry shimmering up the telephone pole. No, the TV antenna. Remember TV antennas? Back in the day, you know, when you had to get up and watch TV and, you know, change the channel. Were you the channel changer of the family? There was always one kid in the family, you know it, that had to change the channel all the time. Watching TV, change that channel. I think I was that kid that changed the channel all the time. Boy, that was annoying, wasn't it? Now I get all stressed out when I lose the remote. Well, not stressed out, but that's it. My life is over. No TV watching for me tonight. Can't find the remote. I know they always do stuff like that, right, Bev? But it just cracks me up that that roof is always, it's just amazing. Some of them lay down on it on a towel, sunbathing on the roof. I mean, obviously it must seem like, wow, look, I climbed on the roof, but it wasn't really that high. It's not like you climbed on the roof of a house that was like, I don't know, 3 stories up in the air from the ground. Foil on antennas, right? How about don't move, hold the antenna, stand there in the living room like that. Stand in front of the TV so we can watch the TV, or every time you move. Maybe you weren't even touching anything. But if you stood there, the reception was better. Oh my goodness, have we made strides, right? Oh no, Sherry. I'm old enough to know to remember the antenna. Or the rotary phone. When my grandmother's house had a rotary phone. And I remember when she passed away, she was renting the rotary phone. She was renting the rotary phone from the phone company for decades. And I remember this rotary phone on the wall. And now we had to turn off the phone. And when we called the phone company, they said, you have to return the phone to the phone company. If not, you're going to be charged $75 for that phone. Thank you, Tammy. Sandra climbed a forest ranger tower. I know I did do that, actually. Bev says, can't tell kids anything. If they are shy, they will never do anything like that. But I was a tomboy. Yeah, you got to do some things. So when we had to call the phone company to say we're canceling this phone, they told us we had to send the phone back. If not, we would be charged a fee of $75. Well, when we calculated how much it was a big argument, actually, because I thought that we should have kept the phone and said, good luck trying to get your $75, because this phone is worth far more. It's been paid on for far more than $75 over the years. It's been rented. I think it was $11 a month or something for the rental of this phone. Can you imagine? And here I am quibbling over the cost. I have an iPhone on my phone plan that I don't use. And it's an iPhone SE, which I want to sell, actually. If anyone's interested in an iPhone SE, please let me know and I'll sell it to you. All I want to sell it for is $100. Brand new. It's just not being used, and I need to get it off my phone plan. Anyway, that's my sales pitch for my iPhone. Yeah, so I'm sorry we didn't keep the phone. And people still have the antennas on their house, right? I wonder if people kind of look and say, what is that? Like, why is that on there? Party lines. Remember that, Abby? Oh my goodness. The party lines. Now look at this. I've got a little bit of my blue in my yellow, but it's okay. No one will notice. Remember the party lines? And now that's what I guess that would be group chat, right? I know. But you had to get paid per minute. Isn't that crazy? How about when you used to have to pay per minute to dial long distance? Remember that? That doesn't still happen, does it? I don't think so. Like, oh, they live in the next state. Like, you could probably drive there in 15 minutes, but you've got to pay, you know, that's a long distance call. Oh my goodness, how did we go from being brave to reminiscing about all of the nostalgia in our lives of all of these crazy things? Right? It's crazy. So here's this pink color again. This is that blush color. And the middles, I'm leaving the white in the middle, but those three little dots that are in the middle, those three little circles, I am going to do something different with those. Maybe I'll pop I'll pop just like a solid color in there once this is dry. But I like the idea of leaving some white, because I like the idea of it having just kind of that contrast of the white. And here's our purple. So again, this book is a culmination of, I mean, all of the things that I think or I feel that, maybe not I feel, I don't want to like impose my wisdom on everyone, but, you know, we live in a crazy time, you know? these are all the things that you could just be. And I think it's a good book to give as a gift. I think it's a good book to just kind of read through yourself, whether you're 8 or 80. You know, Mamie says phone booths, aka Superman's dressing room. I know, really. Payphones used to be everywhere, but my grandsons have no idea what a payphone is. I know. Remember all the germs on the payphone? Did anyone ever think of that? Here we are with a mask on, standing next to somebody, but yet we stuck that phone against our face, against our ear. That receiver. Whew. 25 cents. Oh, I remember 10 cents a call, Bev. I don't know. Maybe it was more. It was different. Thank you, Sherry. This one's fun to paint. Fun to paint color. This one's a. I love using watercolor pencils because I think that it gives results that are beautiful at the end, and it didn't really take long to do it. Not that I want to speed through life, but I just am amazed at what happens with the color once you add the color to the pigment. Especially that blue. That blue really kind of like makes me say, wow. Right here, this blue color. Look at the difference when you add water to it. This is my last one, I guess, right? And then I'm going to move on to the middle. I'm going to use a bigger brush for the middle. All right. Let's see how it looks. You remember 10 cents? See, you remember. Oh, my cell phone. Maybe. My first cell phone was as big as a toaster. And I've had the same cell phone number, actually, since then. I've had the same cell phone number since, oh my goodness, 1992, I think. I always like to remind Verizon about that. All right, I'm going to use just a different style brush. It's got like a little bit of a tip to it. And now I'm just going to move on to this area here. And I've got this tip so that I can kind of get in between all of these. I'm starting on the side of the page that that is the driest. But the other thing is that I still want to be able to kind of see those colors a little bit, so it almost has like a marble look. Because remember, I used 2 different greens on this. I used that light green and that darker green. And then for the middle, I did not do anything to it. I didn't color behind it, but I kind of want it to look like it's spilling into it. And right here. So just kind of spilling into all of it. And I'm just kind of like using the tip of my brush to go in between everything, or to the smaller areas, and then kind of using the side of the brush. But I don't see how that just kind of like spills over. I want it to almost be like the words are bursting through. There it is. That's the word I was looking for. The words are bursting through. They're being brave enough to shine through. How about that? Oh, I remember when gas was cheap too. Remember when it was 99 cents? How about oil to heat your house? Oh my goodness, I'm a little worried. I know, remember when gas was cheap? Gas is like $5 a gallon here right now. Good reason to have things delivered, right? Now, see, the only part that worries me about this is that my words are starting to smudge, but that's okay, because I know that they're there. All right, let's flip it back over now. Those were the days, weren't they? I feel like I'm hearing the song from All in the Family now in my head. Does anyone else have that going on in their head? I'm going to get some orange, and I'm going to put some orange in the middles of those. And this is my other green color that I added onto that. And this one is called Spring Green. Okay. And I am going to use a little bit of orange for the centers. I don't know what I just dropped. What was that? Oh my goodness. Thank you, Mamie. All right, so where is the orange? Here it is. Nice, good, nice point to it. This is called just orange. Imagine. All right, so let's see. Move this over here. And again, just kind of like in the middle. I'm not going to add water to this. I'm just going to get inside those little circles. So rather than adding water to, because I don't think it needs to. You can use watercolor pencils dry. So I don't really think we need to kind of like add water to all of this. So bravery. Oh my goodness. I think I'm faced with something to be brave about every single day, right? For some people, simply leaving the house to go to a doctor's appointment or to the store requires a lot of bravery. I totally agree with that. Chris, I agree with it. It does. It's a crazy world out there lately, you know? Just being in a store sometimes can be a little stressful. Driving can be a little stressful just because of how crazy things are, so it does require bravery. It requires bravery when you get to the register and then you have to pay for whatever the heck you bought. Right? Yeah, it's just, we're all braver than we really think. And I think that if we just get rid of the, preconceived notion that we're supposed to be so brave because we're supposed to do this, this, and that. And if we just get rid of the preconceived notion that we're supposed to be brave as our peers, then I think that if we just realize that what may be fearful for you may not be fearful for me, or vice versa. And what you think, what you need to do that causes you to be your bravest is different than everybody else. So you just need to make sure that you're doing what you need to do as your own person. So I'm just going to read through this one more time. So the quote that I chose for this page is by Nelson Mandela. And he says that I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. So you've got something you're afraid of, and you're going to still do it, and you're going to conquer that fear. Abby's saying brave, just sending kids to school. I totally agree with you. Totally agree with you. I mean, there's a lot of people who have said, I'm not going to a mall anymore, you know, because of the fear of what might happen. And we can't live in fear of what might happen. As my sister says to me all the time, you can't rehearse tragedy. You can't just stop living because you're afraid that something's going to happen, because anything can happen. Something could happen at home. You don't know. You could fall off your chair. You just don't know. I fell off my chair. The chair broke underneath me. Let's hope that doesn't happen, but it did happen to me a couple of times. Does it mean I'm afraid to sit on a chair? No. Get back up on that horse and ride it, you know? So what I wrote about this is, and I'm going to preface this by saying that I am not the bravest person I know, and I have fear just like everybody else, but I do know that what I fear is my fear. So it doesn't make it any less of a fear. It just makes me, me. So what I wrote about this was, we are often faced with normal everyday situations that terrify us. A test of one's inner strength is put to work, and most of the time, and I think all of the time really, we surprise ourselves at just how brave we are. The ability to conquer what frightens you is your superpower. So if it frightens you and you did it, just like Alice was talking about driving, or Chris was talking about going to nursing school, they did it. Even Sherry climbing up on the roof, they did it. And ironically, it's not the situation that is scary, it is the fear of the unknown. Each of us fear different situations, and that doesn't make you a wimp. It just makes you your own person. So the next time you're faced with a situation that requires you to be braver than you think you are capable of being, remember that everyone feels fear. And everyone has the ability to overcome that fear, including you. So it's not the same for everybody. It's not, I jumped out of an airplane, I did a zip line, I went bungee jumping, I'm the bravest person I know. It's not you are Superman or Batman or whatever the heck you want to be. It's not like you're a Marvel hero. You are a simple, and usually the bravest people are the humblest, are the most humble people. So, so just remember that part of it. So we finished this brave part of it, and in the book, this is how it's set up, really. So we worked on this one with the women, and this book has all women because we're the most powerful. Has this page here with this woman. We used Farben colored pencils for this one, and then for today we used Prismacolor watercolor pencils, and these are my completed pages, and I think they're beautiful. So I hope that you can share your page too on the Just Color Coloring group. And if you're watching the replay of this, I hope you're going to share them also. So I just hope that these color-alongs will continue every Wednesday. I hope that you'll be able to watch. I'm not hoping that they'll continue because I'll be here every Wednesday. And next week we are going to be working on funny. Let me see. So the funny page will be available in my on my website. You can thank you so much, Abby. The funny page will be available. You can purchase the page or you can purchase the book. But the funny page will be, I'll have individual pages that will be added each week that you can purchase each page. So this is the page we're going to be coloring next week. Be funny. We're going to work on this one with the woman standing there. And then I don't know what we're going to use for medium. I'll figure out something. We can use all different mediums for all of this. And then the next week we'll work on this page that talks about being funny. I'm going to be actually creating a bit of a podcast for this book. And I've been kind of working on a little bit. So I think that I left a link. Was anyone able to listen to that? Did anyone see the link? Yes, they would look beautiful in a double frame. I agree with you, Sherry. The other thing I have in my on my website is a poster actually, that has all of the pages from the colored version. And we are going to, and you can get that as a poster, a framed poster. There's a lot of different products on my website, on Manera.com under Just Be Products. And there's different things. There's mugs, there's blankets, there's tote bags, there's sneakers. Those are really cool. I want those myself, actually. What else is there? Water bottles. There's water bottles. There's a lot of different products that I'm going to be that I'm still adding, constantly adding for this book. So, thanks so much for watching, and thanks so much for joining me and sharing your stories about bravery and what you think it is to be brave. So next week we'll lighten up the mood and we'll be funny, and we can talk about what it means to be funny and how important it is to have laughter in our lives on an everyday basis. I think it's extremely important to laugh every single day, and I gotta say, I would say that 90% of the time I laugh every single day at some point. You've got to laugh every single day to the point where you're going to pee your pants and you are laughing that hard every single day, even if it's just at yourself. So I hope that you can join me next week. The book's available on Amazon, again, hardcover and paperback. The PDF book's available on my website, and you'll be able to get these different pages. Cherry says, have fun, have a blessed day, everyone. Thanks so much. Rosie says, I'm going to use the watercolor pencils I wanted to color along. Awesome. Saying prayers for your sister and your family, Ann. Oh, thank you, Chris. Tomorrow's our last day of treatment, but it's going to be a rough few weeks. So, thank you so much. I appreciate it. It's been a lot, but she's the bravest person I know. So, you inspire me to use my watercolor pencils. Awesome, Tammy. Thank you, Tammy. Prayers to Eden too. It's unbelievable. She's she's brave. There's the definition of bravery right there. That little girl who doesn't really even realize how brave she really is. Okay, so I will see everyone next week. Thanks so much for joining me, and have a beautiful day. Have a beautiful day, Abby. Thank you so much. Have a great day, everyone.